Здравствуйте, уважаемые читатели, зрители и подписчики наших социальных сетей. У нас сегодня гость из Пакистана, господин Ирфан Шахзад Такалви. Мы сегодня приготовили очень много вопросов для нашего гостя. Надеюсь, что они будут для вас интересны, и особенно для людей, которые, в принципе, как-то прямо или косвенно соприкасаются с Востоком, с мусульманским миром. Мистер Такалви, добро пожаловать к нам в студию, и с вашего разрешения мы начнем наш эфир.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me for today's session.
Господин Такалви, у меня первый вопрос. У нас много зрителей. Я несколько делал, значит, эфиров по Пакистану, и у наших зрителей очень много вопросов, что такое диабандизм. Поэтому первый вопрос. Расскажите нашим зрителям об учении диабанди или диабандизме. И что означает термин диабандизм с оттенком пуштунвали?
Deobandi, although I must make it clear for your viewers that Islam and its various denominations are not my basic expertise, but I can share with you that Deobandi is a school of thought within Islam, which originates in a town with the same name. It's a town named as Deoband, and it is located in present day India. And it was in the united, undivided India before the British left this part of the world that a famous, madrasa was established in Deoband. And many of the people who graduate from that school and its founders who belong to that school of thought, they are basically called Deobandis. Uh, Deobandis are considered somewhat, we can say, reformers as compared to the Brelvis, the other famous school of thought in subcontinent. Uh, it is rooted in present day India, and its followers are spread all over India and Pakistan. When we talk about Pakhtunwali is not a religious code, as far as I know. Pakhtunwali is basically a ethnic, linguistic, cultural code of Pakhtuns. The linkage of Deobandi and Pakhtunwali today is that many of the followers of Deobandi school of thought, they actually live in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province of Pakistan. Many of them are Pakhtuns, and of course, many among the Taliban, I would say an overwhelming majority, they are also the followers of Deobandi school of thought. Many of the madrasas which are associated with the Taliban movement and its spread, they are also mostly the followers of Deobandi school of thought. So that is the linkage. We can see that in that way.
Окей, thank you, мистер Такалвали. У нас второй вопрос. Расскажите, пожалуйста, о диабандийском джихадизме, который опирается на учение движения Диабанди. Ну, вы уже сказали выше, он зародился на территории индийского субконтинента. Главный вопрос. Диабандийский джихадизм какую несет угрозу для государств Центральной Азии и мира?
I personally feel that jihad cannot be associated with any particular sect or any particular school of thought when it comes to Islam. Jihad is one of the five basic principles of Islam. So, in principle, all Muslims, all the Muslims who follow the original teachings of Islam, they know that it is one of the five basic pillars of Islam. But jihadism may be associated more with Deobandi, school of thought in present day scenario because Taliban are primarily followers of Deobandi school of thought. But jihad today are jihadi organizations, whether they are limited to any one country or they are transnational, they are not necessarily limited to Deobandi school of thought. For example, uh, Al-Qaeda was not Deobandi. IS was or is not Deobandi. Similarly, the people who have just overrun Bashar al-Assad regime
Mhm.
in Syria and have made government, they are not Deobandis. So
Okay.
I would personally say that it would not be appropriate to associate jihadism entirely with Deobandi school of thought. When we come to Central Asia and what jihadis see as larger Khurasan or maybe Mawra Nahar,
Mhm.
you know it very well. Uh, it is true that many of the followers of Islam in Central Asia, they are Hanafi Muslims and they find themselves closer to the Deobandi school of thought.
Mhm.
So many of the observers of this region, they would associate the two. But it's not entirely that way, I would say, because many of the jihadis who took this route, for example, many of those who went to Syria, who went to Iraq, who
Mhm.
joined Al Qaeda in Afghanistan, they were not necessarily followers of the Deobandi school of thought,
Mhm.
and many of them were, which actually stand against the Deobandi school of thought. For example, the Takfiris. For them, all Muslims other than them are
Mhm.
non-Muslims. So jihadism cannot be associated with one school of thought. So is the case for the Deobandi school of thought.
Mhm. Very good. Thank you, Mr. Takalvi. Тут three questions. Первое, значит, агрессия Индии против Пакистана — это уроки истории со времен Дурранийской империи или претензии на наследство арабской цивилизации?
I don't think that it has anything to do with history. Historically, yes, Hindus and Muslims, they see each other as adversaries. But
Окей.
we cannot forget that India was united for almost 600 years, and the entire period of that unity, that was when Muslim rulers were ruling India, the whole subcontinent. So at one hand, there is some deep rooted animosity among Hindus and Muslims of subcontinent, but the present Pakistan-India conflict, its
Mhm.
roots should be seen in the 1947 partition and unfinished agenda of that partition. And that unfinished agenda is reflected in the form of long-standing Kashmir dispute. And unless Kashmir dispute finds a solution which is according to the resolutions of the United Nations, which is in line with the aspirations of Kashmiri people, then we cannot see peace on Pakistan-India borders in the long run. I am not, totally disregarding this phenomena that it has historical roots. Yes, animosity is historical, but the current conflict that we see between Pakistan and India, it's rooted more in unfinished agenda of the partition of 1947, and it has been multiplied by a recent wave of hatred against Muslims, be they are inside India, be they are in Pakistan or elsewhere, under Bharatiya Janata Party's government in India, under the revival of idea of Hindutva, the idea of Hindu supremacy, which is strongly, supported by the BJP and its allies. So we should see it that way. Current conflict is a miscalculation on part of the uh, Hindutva forces in India, which are ruling India. They had this miscalculation that perhaps they have grown too strong and they will be able to subjugate Pakistan in some way, and Pakistan would not respond. But it was their miscalculation. Pakistan was not only ready, but Pakistan was determined. and that is what the world saw.
Thank you, мистер Такалви. Из всего того, что вы сказали о кашмирской проблеме между Индией и Пакистаном, у меня появляется следующий вопрос. Скажите, пожалуйста, как Пакистан видит решение кашмирского вопроса? Это военный метод, это дипломатический метод или военно-дипломатический или военно-политический метод?
My understanding is that on Pakistani side, the approach is very clear. Pakistan wants Kashmir to be resolved in line with the relevant resolutions of the United Nations Security Council, which call for a plebiscite on both sides of the Kashmir, both in Pakistani controlled Kashmir, which is independent Azad Kashmir, and uh, also in the illegally Indian occupied Kashmir, the Indian controlled Kashmir also. So
Yes.
that is the basis. That is the basis for resolution of Kashmir dispute. According to UNSC resolutions, as per the aspirations of the people of Kashmir, Pakistan is very clear that we cannot resolve Kashmir dispute militarily, but at the same time, Pakistan considers it as a duty, as a duty to support Kashmiris diplomatically, morally, ethically, and at international forums.
Мгм. Thank you, мистер Такалви. Следующий вопрос. Скажите, пожалуйста, в политической жизни Пакистана и в его влиянии на власть какое значение имеет Гильзаи, и который занимает второе место в Пакистане после племени Дуррани?
I would say that present day Pakistan has different dynamics.
Yes.
The the what we say that the famous historical figures like Durrani, like others, like Ghaznavi, like Ghori, like the Abdali, they definitely are seen very, in some quarters they are seen very highly. Uh, they are seen, with so much respect and reverence in Pakistani quarters, but there are also certain segments in Pakistan for whom they
Мгм.
were invaders.
Мгм.
So Pakistan of today is a diverse society. It, we should not forget that Pakistan basically is composed of four large ethnic minorities. You know it very well: Punjabis, Pashtuns, uh, Balochs, and Sindhis. But then there are also very, a large number of small ethnic and linguistic minorities that make up Pakistan. So the approach towards historical figures and historical events, you
Мгм.
will see a variety, a diversity, a difference of approach regarding those events and those historical figures in Pakistan. But there is one common thread
Мгм.
that uh, Muslim rulers, they came here, they spread Islam, and the only period when the so-called subcontinent was united and peaceful was
Мгм.
under the rulers who belonged to Islam.
Thank you, Mr. Takalwi. We have next question is what are the reasons for the military border clashes and the contradictions between Afghanistan and Pakistan?
Uh, I must say that right now the bone of contention in relations between Pakistan and Afghanistan is that Pakistan considers that banned Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which
Мгм.
Pakistan has now labeled as Fitna al-Kharij.
Мгм.
TTP is holed up in Afghanistan. It gets, logistic sports as well as financial and equipment sports from inside Afghanistan, and it is planning its anti-Pakistan activities and conducting them, executing them on the soil of Pakistan from across the border. So that is the number one problem between Pakistan and Afghanistan's relations right now. Pakistan requires only one thing from regime in Kabul. that Afghan soil should not be allowed to be used against Pakistan. So that is the main problem. And of course, then there are some other smaller issues that create distrust between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Maybe the issue of the border demarcation, maybe the issue of trade, maybe the issue of we can call it irredentism, that Pashtuns being on both sides of the border. And of course, these are also linked with somehow the issue of terrorism from the soil of Afghanistan against Pakistan. Because if there is no terrorism against Pakistan, directed against Pakistan from the soil of Afghanistan, Pakistan and Afghanistan will be trading very well. And beyond that, trade between Pakistan and Central Asia will also be very well. So the main issue right now is, from the Pakistani perspective, is the use of Afghan soil against Pakistan, Pakistan's sovereignty, and to create destruction and instability in Pakistan.
Understand? Thank you. Следующий у нас вопрос. Господин Такалви, Пакистан называют ключевыми региональным государством или воротами в Центральную Азию и на Кавказ. Что народам этих регионов ждать от Пакистана или от его проектов?
I think putting the onus entirely on Pakistan would not be fair. I think that, declaring Pakistan as responsible for any present day disconnect between South and Central Asia. In fact, I would say that Pakistan, as you mentioned, finds itself on a very important location, right at the juncture of three regions. It is actually a tri-regional hub, not only South and Central Asia, but also West Asia. Which is the Middle East. So Pakistan is, connecting these three regions, and Afghanistan is also doing the same service at a slightly, I would say, lower level. So at the moment, the situation that Pakistan finds itself in is a result of, at one hand, extra regional rivalries, and on the other hand, it is a play of anti-Pakistan regional forces as well. So we are very clear that what the situation we are seeing in Afghanistan is partly a result of 4.5 decades old long conflict in that country. And on the other hand, adversaries of Pakistan, particularly India, have used over past few years this situation to create trouble in Pakistan using the land and resources situated on that land of Afghanistan. So Pakistan is very much willing. Pakistan is very supportive of all the ideas of regional connectivity. China-Pakistan Economic Corridor being one of the major examples. If relations between countries are as good as between Pakistan and China, so the commerce, the connectivity should certainly flourish. Pakistan is also very much open to Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan railways, which has recently been proposed and pushed by the Uzbek leadership. Pakistan is also supportive of international north-south transport corridor. Pakistan supports the CAREC initiative, and recently in Islamabad there was a big conference organized by the CAREC Institute. The point that I wish to make here is that Pakistan supports all major initiatives that aim at revival of old Silk Road, that aim at enhancing inter-regional and intra-regional connectivity, but at the same time, peace and trust are prerequisites for regional connectivity and regional integration dream to realize. Unless we move towards establishing long-term peace, unless we move towards ensuring that there is stability in this region, all these initiatives will fall short of their desired objectives.
Мгм. Thank you, мистер Такалви. Скажите, пожалуйста, что означает для Пакистана, владеющий ядерным оружием, партнерство и союзничество с Азербайджаном?
I must say that in recent years in particular, Azerbaijan has emerged as a strong partner of Pakistan, and Pakistan reciprocated that in recent Azerbaijan-Armenia conflict. Pakistan supported Azerbaijan fully, diplomatically, politically, and within all the norms and bounds of international law. Pakistan exercised its right to support the brotherly nation of Azerbaijan, and
Yes.
that was reciprocated by the Azeri leadership and people in recent Pakistan-India conflict. And we have
Yes.
seen some, very shining examples of sport for Pakistan emerging not only in Turkey but also in Azerbaijan. China was also the third large, example of this case. But Azerbaijan has and its people, they have won the hearts of Pakistanis by their unconditional and out of the way support in recent Pakistan India conflict. I think the present relationship, this nature of relationship between Pakistan and Azerbaijan, it has nothing to do with nuclear status of Pakistan. My feeling is that Azerbaijan state of affairs, they have no interest in nuclear, they don't, they can have their strategic objectives without nuclear weapons. That is what I must say.
Yes, thank you. И тогда последний вопрос, мистер Такалви. Скажите, пожалуйста, как из Пакистана смотрится или видится альянс Турция, Пакистан, Азербайджан?
I would see it as a driving force for reinventing the Economic Cooperation Organization. Both are very important members of Economic Cooperation Organization, and if the three, I would say the three are uh, key members of Economic Cooperation Organization, and if these three countries come closer in terms of economic cooperation, investment cooperation, people-to-people contacts, that will reinvigorate the institution of Economic Cooperation Organization. And I think that I'm not saying that all other countries should forget their strategic interests and follow the suit of Turkey and Azerbaijan to support Pakistan, but that putting supporting Pakistan in conflict with India aside, what Pakistan, Turkey, and Azerbaijan are doing together becomes a good example for the other seven members of Economic Cooperation Organization, and that provides a basis for starting ECO as an effective regional grouping.
Thank you. Тогда я побеспокою вас, еще два вопроса задам из ваших ответов. Первое. Как понимает или как видит проект «Большой Афганистан» Пакистан?
Well, if you ask my opinion and my understanding, there is no such thing as Greater Afghanistan.
Мгм.
Uh, it is one thing to be Afghan. It
Мгм.
is another thing to be Afghani.
Мгм.
Afghan is a very large concept. The
Yes.
Afghan nation, they are living both in Pakistan, both in Afghanistan, and partly in other countries also.
Мгм.
But when we talk about being an Afghani, Afghani means the one who lives inside the boundaries, who belongs to the boundaries of Afghanistan, the state of Afghanistan today. So I don't think that even Taliban have expressed any open desire to go for this so-called idea of greater Afghanistan.
Mhm.
But even if it is in the minds of some people, I I should make it very clear that far greater number of Afghans
Mhm.
live inside Pakistan than they live inside Afghanistan. So
Mhm.
that should be very clear. So to everyone.
Окей. Тогда, thank you, мистер Такалви. Тогда следующий вопрос. Вот официальные лица США, и в том числе Трамп, заявляют, что мы вернемся на авиабазу в Афганистане Баграм. Это угроза Пакистану или помощь Пакистану?
The way actually Taliban took over in August 2021, so smooth it was that as an observer, I would say it was not possible without some kind of understanding between the Taliban and between the United States forces present in Afghanistan at that point of time. Even in Pakistan, we see it becoming a possibility in near future that there may be some kind of understanding between Taliban and United States for not, as active presence and as active use of Bagram as it was in the period before August 2021. But what I see is that United States is very likely to return to Afghanistan in some way. It can be Bagram, it can be limited and controlled use of Bagram, but it can be present somewhere else also. I don't think at present it will be any direct threat for Pakistan because Pakistan has already faced worse than that scenarios in Afghanistan. But such a presence will certainly be very important, very crucial for China, for Central Asia, for Iran, and to a large extent for Russia also. They would have they would see their interests being compromised in more ways than one. Pakistan would also not be spared in entirety, I must say, because many of the pressures that Pakistan faces from terrorists right now are also because of the ammunition that US forces left in Afghanistan and that is being used by terrorists against Pakistan. So there will be challenges for Pakistan, but I would repeat that Pakistan has already faced scenarios worse than that. So it
Mhm.
would by and large more it will by and large be more of a challenge for the region, for the SCO region, I must say, and
Мгм.
less for Pakistan.
Мгм. Спасибо, мистер Такалви. Тогда из вашего ответа выходит вопрос. Скажите, пожалуйста, интересы Китая, России, Соединенных Штатов Америки могут ли привести к столкновению в регионе с точки зрения начала военной операции в борьбе за Центральную Азию, то есть к войне за Центральную Азию?
Yes, heartland is important for everyone, for all the major powers.
Мгм.
But my feeling is that for next few years, at least under Trump,
Мгм.
US will be focused more on North America than on this part of the world. They would certainly seek some kind of presence in this part of the world. But my feeling is, my calculation is that at this moment of time, US would not like to engage in some challenging situation in this part of the world. There may be, some challenges for the regional peace and stability, but at the same time, United States would not reconsider spreading it once again as it was in 2002 to 2021 period. So we cannot, I at least do not see a repeat of that. It it will be some presence, but it will be much lower level presence in at least next few years.
Thank you. Мистер Такалви, можно ли события в Сирии, которые прошли после того, как сбежал из страны, значит, Асад, квалифицировать как часть проекта «Большой Ближний Восток»? И если да, то какое в нем участие Пакистана?
Well, Pakistan is not a direct player in Syrian affairs, but Pakistan, of course, is morally, ethically, diplomatically, sentimentally very much attached to the affairs of Greater Middle East and all the countries of the Middle East, which make up Middle East of today. I think that it is very clear the happenings in Syria of past few months in Syria are very clear, and it is becoming increasingly clear with every passing day that who was supporting whom in the armored conflict that was ongoing when Bashar al-Assad was president, and the alignments that are emerging after new setup has taken reins in Damascus are also telling us several things. I personally would not be surprised if Syria is also a signatory of what is being pushed in the name of Abrahamic Accords. I would not be surprised if we see some sort of an agreement. Even if not, it is part of being, signatory to Abrahamic Accords. I also see some developments happening between Saudi Arabia and Israel as well in near future. So Greater Middle East is very much here. But Greater Middle East does not mean necessarily Greater Israel. We should be very clear. Greater Middle East is there, but Greater Middle East is there, but Greater Israel is a dream. So we should be very clear about that.
Thank you. До приезда премьер-министра Пакистана в Баку, вы тоже поделились у себя на странице, господин премьер-министр был в Иране. Какие отношения между Пакистаном и Ираном, и есть ли проблемы или какие-то положительные кооперационные действия совместно с Ираном у Пакистана?
I should bring to the notice of your viewers that if we go back a couple of weeks, more, we would note that even Iranian president was visiting Baku. So what I mean is that relations between Pakistan and Iran or relations between Pakistan and Azerbaijan are not mutually exclusive.
Yes.
Relations, yeah, it is a case of a relationship between two sovereign states. So relations between Pakistan and Azerbaijan are not at the cost of relations between Pakistan and Iran. And in fact, in near future, uh, I would, I am very optimistic that as the key member of Regional Cooperation for Development, RCD, going back to 1960s,
Yes.
it was the organization between Pakistan, Iran, and Turkey. And Pakistan, Iran, Turkey, and Azerbaijan, they may be seen joining hands for revival of ECO in near future. And that will be a big push for regional integration between the tri-regions of South, Central, and West Asia
Yes.
in coming few years. So my crisp answer is that Islamabad, Baku is not against Tehran. So Islamabad, Tehran is not against Baku. So we are very clear about that.
Yes. Господин Такалви, разрешите тогда, во-первых, вас поблагодарить за то, что вы к нам пришли в гости. Нашли для нас время и поделились своими знаниями. Но я надеюсь, что у нас эфиры продолжатся, если вы дадите на это согласие. То есть мы сделаем цикл интервью.
Thank you very much. I owe you more thanks for having me for this session, and I believe that learning is always mutual, and the way you frame your questions, the way you make me say something, that is very important for me. That makes me learn more. I'm grateful for that. And as far as the recording of this interview is concerned, yes, you have the right to use it the way you wish to.
Thank you, мистер Такалви. И разрешите напоследок от своего имени поблагодарить в вашем лице народ Пакистана за его поддержку и эксклюзивные отношения, братские отношения к Азербайджану. Спасибо вам и народу Пакистана.
Thank you very much. We are glad, and it's really a mutually win-win partnership. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.